Marathon 2026 is truly a unique case in video game development. What started as one of Bungie's first video game series all the way back in 1994 has now made a surprising return 30 years after its previous installment. What's funny though is that a little game called Halo was released in between these years, and the influences from Bungie's prior science fiction series were undeniable. The weapons, the aliens, the themes, Marathon and Halo were almost like two sides of the same coin. But as we all know, moving forward, they'll have little to nothing to do with one another. Unless I do something about it. So what if Master Chief wasn't Marathon? It's time to marathonify Halo. Greetings, Vernissage here. So this is usually not how I make my videos, but I have been seeing a lot of people asking about like seeing my progress, like how I make my art, and I hope other artists can relate to this, but I've always been kind of scared to show that. I have done that in the past, but I've never really like done something big like this and show my entire progress of it, because this took a little too long, but we'll get to that. But I think as an artist, it's really, for me, it's something like private. Like when I work on art, it's like a private thing. Like it's my time to just be me and just try stupid shit that probably won't work, but you know, you still want to try it. But now everyone can see what I do, and I think that was something I needed to actually fix. I needed this. And what makes this even worse is I have never done anything in the style of Marathon. And for those who don't know, which I don't think is anyone, Marathon 2026 has a very unique art style. Like I'd say like that's its unique selling point even. And it's something I really love about it because it looks like nothing else really. I mean, except for the artist they stole art from, but yeah, it has this art style I think they call it graphic realism, which I guess it describes it pretty well. It's almost like making a logo, like making it look very sanitized, very cozy almost, like inviting. Like this is I guess it's like a killing machine. Well, I guess it's like human consciousness transferred to a synthetic body, right? But still, it's like an interesting twist on killing machines, you know, but they look kind of kind and cozy almost. So that was definitely a challenge too, and I knew it was going to be an issue going into this. Like now I'm doing something basically in front of a camera, which I'm not like used to, and I'm learning something from the ground up. And also, I assume a lot of artists feel this way, but like it's not like I have a great way of like doing stuff. I paint like daily, but I've never really nailed down like my process of doing things. I just do stuff. And I think there's a lot of pressure on us artists. I don't know from who. I think it's just us artists just putting pressure on ourselves. Like you should know this and you should always have a good idea of how to approach your art. And I just don't really. I think it always changes depending on what it is. And here I knew I couldn't just go with a simple green. Like we can't just go classic Master Chief. We need something to stick out. Like that's part of the graphic realism art style. And I think adding different shades of green was a nice way of doing this, because like we have the typical Master Chief green in there, but then you have the more desaturated green, as well as the very, very bright neon yellowish green. I don't know, maybe that's yellow. I'm colorblind. I have no idea. And it was important to me to keep the shapes very simple. Nothing very greebly and, you know, a lot of different shapes that meet one another at interesting angles. It's usually like smooth corners and just flat surfaces, really. But I wanted to get some depth in there, so I experimented with giving him some depth towards the bottom of the helmet, as you can see here. And I wanted to give it some shine too, but we'll get to the finish a little later. And here I finally figured out what to do with the visor, because I like the idea of giving him more of a sharp-ish visor, because a lot of the runners in Marathon have that kind of sharp visor look. It doesn't have to be sharp, but I kind of liked doing it that way. And now we get to the probably the worst part of the entire journey, the body, which if you didn't think I had a plan before, you're in for a treat. I don't know, this was like the low point. Like, this is what I mean about sharing your art progress. I think a lot of people are better at this than I am, but sometimes I'm just not feeling it. You know, I want to do it, and I know I gotta do it, but I'm just not feeling it in the moment. And now I just couldn't bother to do anything else but just copy the body from Master Chief, basically, from Halo, and then just work off of that. So I used that to make the overall shape of the body, added some armor pieces, and then my idea was just start somewhere. I think that's also like the best tip I can give you as an artist. If you're like me and get stuck a lot, I think just starting to work on something is gonna help you so much. Because like, I wasn't feeling it at all. Like 80% of the time during the making of this, I wasn't feeling it. Spoiler alert, I will feel it in the end. I think it turned out pretty well. But this was probably like the worst point, but I knew just getting something down is something. Because like that's something I realized when I redesign stuff. I usually work off of like the original thing I'm redesigning. It helps so much to have something to work off of. And now when I make something entirely original, like I'm making this from scratch, it helps so much to just put something down. It doesn't have to be good. Like at this point, I didn't think it looked good, but I just wanted something so I could work off of that and make it a lot better. And here I started to include some of the very Marathon-esque features, like some like thick like cable thingies from his shoulders. I'm adding some like black decals, some black outline decals, which we see on specifically I think it's called the Destroyer, right? The runner that's like based on the classic security guy. What's it called? Recon, whatever. I couldn't be bothered to do my homework on Marathon stuff. I don't really know it. I actually bought Marathon. I played it once. I also played it. I jumped into like into a solo game for a later part of this. We'll get to the background part of it, but I wanted to get like a background capture. And I was terrified. I don't know. I'm just sad when I die in extraction shooters. And I'm not very happy when I don't die. So I haven't really, I guess I just haven't really understood the games yet. But I like the shooting mechanics. I like the movement and everything, and the art style, of course. But anyway, yeah, now I'm just finding ways to like give Master Chief his silhouette, first of all, but also giving him uniquely Marathon-inspired features. I also included the grapple hook here, so that's fun. Because I can't just really make his armor as it is, I think. Like, Marathon specifically requires a lot of changes, because like, it's not as simple as, oh, this is bulky, and this is practical, militaristic bulk. No, this requires just like, here's a chunky bit on his shoulder, here's a chunky bit on his thigh. I don't really know what it does. Oh, and spoiler alert, those feet are not going to be visible in the final result, so don't know why I wasted time there. Also getting some CE vibes from the thighs there. Very nice. This was when it all changed, I think. I changed the pose. I was like, holy shit. Now he's actually looking kind of badass. God damn. Speaking of like getting the base done, it's not only about like having a base to work off of, like design, like shape wise. It's also specifically for this case to have something, to have like a bland armor, but then add a bunch of like decals and stuff, because that's a huge thing of the graphic realism art style, right? Like adding decals, adding text, you know, stuff like that, but we'll get there eventually. And here I'm making the assault rifle. I would like to make like a specific video for the weapons. I didn't really put a lot of time into the assault rifle here. It's basically just like a slightly boxier assault rifle with a slightly more greenish tint. So here I had an idea for his chest, like having a huge 117 decal. I couldn't really make it work. Eventually, I was fine with it, but it could probably be more interesting. And now, this is probably like the most fun part. Just like coloring. You know, it's like a coloring book, basically. I made an adjustment layer where I changed the saturation and the lightness. So I made it darker and more desaturated. And got some dark parts in there to resemble the helmet. And here comes the yellow part, or green part, or I don't know, I'm colorblind parts. Have I told you I'm colorblind? And I like the idea of getting some like almost warning tape decals in there. Not really warning tape, but you know, that's a thing of like classic Halo Unity stuff, I think, so I wanted to include that. And now it's all about like putting random stuff in there, random details that don't really make sense, but it doesn't have to make sense. That's something I struggle with sometimes. I usually want like my stuff to all make sense. Oh, by the way, that's I included the Braille thing from the Mark 6 mod armor. It doesn't make sense because like it's clearly not like sticking out. Like it's just a decal. So like, fuck, I didn't think about that. That's the whole thing with Braille. Blind people can't read that. Okay, never mind. It's cool though. It's cool. And oh yeah, these lines did a lot for the undersuit. I think well, it's not really undersuit. It's just like a suit or a body. But I think that helped with like marrying all the different armor pieces together with those lines. But yeah, now it's just about like random symbols and stuff. I couldn't be bothered to make my homework on Marathon, so I don't know like if I couldn't include maybe some more like lore stuff. I'm just doing stuff like Mjolnir Power Armor Mark 6, you know, just text that like it doesn't have to mean anything. I'm just trying to give it some meaning. And here I want to include some like raster texture into the undersuit, because like the Destroyer has something similar, so I just like that, just adding some kind of texture. I didn't add a lot more texture than this, because like they don't have a lot of texture really, like the runners. They usually like, they almost look plastic, so I think for once it's fine not adding any real textures to the rest of the body. So yeah, it's just like random words. I gotta get better at that. Just do random stuff. It doesn't have to mean anything. I've got some arrows going and stuff. Plus, oh yeah, plus signs everywhere. I don't know what the plus signs mean. Maybe they have meaning. I included plus signs everywhere. All the Marathon guys have plus signs on them. Don't hit the player, hit the game. Oh yeah, I included Sierra 117 on his crotch, because I can't. No one can stop me. And here comes the actual fun part, making like the environment piece. So, you know, I went into Marathon, got that screenshot, just something I can work with. I modified some of the colors, making him fit in. Made some of the darker colors a little more cold. Getting some of that vignette vibe in there. Oh yeah, I like this. We're gonna get back to the logo later, but I like this almost like magazine look. But yeah, first off, let's make him fit in with the environment. It's not a lot of work here. It's just like getting some of that sunlight hit hit the side of him. I could probably go even harder with the sunlight. I thought this was fine. It's really bright, but like the environments, it's not picking up like that much sunlight, really, like looking at the grass and stuff. So I think this worked fine. I also, yeah, here I wanted to give like the left side some like colder light, like it's some coldish bounce light or something coming from behind the camera. And now we get to marrying the logo with the rest of the piece. Oh, and look at this. I included some blue in the visor there. I thought that was pretty cool. I usually include like redesigns made by Vernissage, but now I wanted to actually make it part of the graphics of the logo. I thought that would be a fun idea, so yeah, I think it worked out pretty well. I don't know what I'm doing now. I'm just taking in the beauty of it. Oh yeah, I tried doing something like this, which I think worked out really well. Like just giving the text some color that bleeds into it. So it's almost part of the environment, not really. Oh yeah, I changed the position of him too, because like his visor was kind of clashing against the bright background. I wanted to have the text contrast with his the bright part of his visor. It makes sense. Okay, it makes sense to me. Getting some shadows in there, making sure the light is still coming through. So this is really like this is when I love making art the most. Just like making a nice presentation of art. I think that's something I really appreciate when artists do. Like when it's something I've tried to do a lot more recently. Like you can make a really good design, but if you don't present it in an interesting way, it's just an interesting design, which is good. But you could do this, and this doesn't even take that long. Like this is the other like painting part was like sped up like ×6 of what this is. So this is really like this was just done in like an hour or something. Oh yeah, I wanted to include Halo somehow, because, you know, I wanted to include that it's a proper crossover. So I thought that would be fun too, to include it with the logo, with the Marathon logo. And I included some of the, like the barcode there too. Yeah, we're getting towards the end here. I just wanted to make something more interesting with the Master Chief text down there. So this is also just like adding flavor text. It doesn't really mean anything. But obviously I wanted to make somewhat sense. But yeah, this is... Oh god, you're gonna watch me struggle here. Like, this is sped up, and this shouldn't take more than 1 minute. I just couldn't get this to look pleasing to the eye. But eventually I figure it out. It shouldn't be at the bottom. It's never good to be at bottom. Always be top. See, there we go. That's a lot better. And just added something more. Reclaimer, I don't know. Put it in there. So yeah, that's it. I made some more tweaks to like the background. I made it all like zoom into Master Chief, which I thought was a nice way of portraying it. But yeah, I guess this is the ultimate Bungie design. So even though it wasn't looking great at first, I'm very happy it turned out the way I wanted it to. I guess it just goes to show that if you just do something, you will get there eventually. But if you just give up, you'll never get there. I know it sounds stupid, but it's actually, that's something I needed to hear, so I hope that helps some of you out there. I have a lot of like imposter syndrome as an artist, because like I never feel like I do enough, even though I see a lot of nice comments on my stuff. It's always, at least for me, it's really hard as an artist, like actually accepting positive feedback. But at the end of the day, I guess that's also part of the journey when making art. I think that's what gives human art its value, almost. That's why AI art will never be art, because it doesn't have the pain. There's nothing there. Pain isn't something, at least as of yet, a machine can feel. I don't know if you can see my pain in this design, but at least you know like my struggles and my artist block I went through during this. if anything, I hope it at least inspires one or two of you out there who also want to do art and feel like maybe what you're doing isn't enough. I don't know, it sounds crazy to me, but maybe there's someone out there thinking I'm crazy for even saying this, because maybe you enjoy my art, but I just don't see people doing that. It really makes me appreciate the human element of art, because usually it's not easy to believe in yourself, especially when something you're doing isn't the version of yourself you want to present. But I think that was very nice to go through here too. Like, have someone watching me during this process when everything sucked, to then actually end up with a result I don't even have to be happy with it. At least you've seen like what I did. Luckily, it was very sped up. I'm not gonna tell you how many hours I spent on that. No, okay, but this is crossover art of 2 video games. I'm not gonna go deeper than that. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was, at the end of the day, very fun, and I'm happy with the result. See, I said it. Now, go out there, make your art, feel pain. Yeah, that sounded better in my head. Don't feel pain you don't have to feel. Feel pain you should feel. Feel pain that can take you somewhere, that can challenge you, and that can turn you into something more than you were before. Also, join the Vernissage Discord. We just had a armor customization contest, and we'll have more in the future and other fun activities. So get in there and you can share your art, you can discuss art. Also, if you want to support me even more, I have a Patreon, which helps me do the thing I love the most, which is this. And I have an Instagram where I put up all my art and blah blah blah. We don't have to, we can stop there. Yeah, check out the links in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. And now I'm going to roll an outro. Bye. I want to thank my Spartan 2 patrons. That one guy, Diehard Colt 3, Coden Wash, Captain Waffles, and Poison Ebony 666. My Spartan 3s, Azores, and Dylan Clark. And my Spartan 4s, Bike02, Og2nd 2022, KA Cosplay Tech, Fred the 16th, and Armazel. If you like this video, give it a like. If not, a dislike. And let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I wish you all the best, and take care. Vernissage, out.